After his father's hospitalization, Lovecraft resided in the family home with his mother and his maternal aunts, Lillian and Annie, and his maternal grandparents, Whipple and Roby.
Come on.
No.
We are indeed on our way now, Ducky.
Lovecraft later recollected that after his father's illness, his mother was, quote, permanently stricken with grief. He also said, as a child, he was enamored with the Roman pantheon of gods, accepting them as genuine expressions of divinity and foregoing his Christian upbringing.
Oh my God, he's a marble bust Twitter avatar guy.
Yes, this is where I'm going with this. This is proto-alt-right shit. They like the traditions of like Christianity upholding the West, but deep down inside they hate it because essentially Christianity counsels us to love and help the weak, whereas the old pagan gods of Europe told us to kill and enslave them.
Yeah. No, it's the Edward Gibbon thesis, basically, yeah. And they love those guys. My favorite is when they have, like, Trajan as their fucking avatar. You know, the guy who was just fucked literally every man who he met. Like, literally every one of them.
This is even more fucking Reddit. Are you ready for this? He recalls at 5 years old being told Santa Claus did not exist and retorting by asking why God is not equally a myth.
Boom. Owned by your own logic. Good day, madam.
I mean,
you have been owned.
To be fair, I think most kids actually arrive at that conclusion. They just eventually stop caring because they become adults.
Some of them become Sam Harris fans, though.
Right.
No, I think that's true. It's like when you realize Santa isn't real, you do have that moment.
What else have I been lied to
it's
about?
Like, who else isn't real? And then you're just like, I'm not going to think about that. I'm just going to... I was worried about it for a minute, but thankfully I hit puberty, so I'm just going to be jacking off for the next 5 years.
Yeah, you just stay busy. You find a hobby.
Exactly.
And then you reach, your mid-20s, and you find out the only true thing is astrology, and you're fine.
So Cthulhu is his flying spaghetti monster.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Literally is. Holy shit.
Oh, my God. Whoa.
Ready for more epic Reddit bacon drama?
Yeah, what was like the asshole nerd hat back then? Because everyone had to wear them. Was it like, oh great, he's another propeller hat atheist? That hat they think looks so cool.
Get a load of this guy in his fucking colonial tri-corner.
One of those trepidant atheists.
Yeah, the atheists back then just had a fucking divot out of their skull.
That's what you had instead of gauges back then. That's how you knew. That's how you were a scene kid in the 1800s.
That was body modification.
Yeah. Okay, here's more epic Reddit shit. At the age of 8, he took a keen interest in the sciences, particularly astronomy and chemistry. He also examined the anatomy books available to him in the family library, learning the specifics of human reproduction that had yet to be explained to him.
Yeah, all those pages were stuck together.
And he found that it, quote, virtually killed my interest in the subject.
No one
women. I thought women are cool, but did you know they're full of guts?
Yeah. I shan't be getting up in those guts, madam.
To be one of those guys who lies about fucking porn stars back then, you had to be like, yeah, me and my cousin, we actually met the girl from the anatomy textbook and we fucked her. That was Lisa Ann.
Again, would it surprise you to learn he was a very sickly child who was plagued throughout his entire education
but he seems so robust.
He was plagued throughout his entire education by health crises of various kinds. In 1908, prior to his high school graduation, he had another episode, though this instance was seemingly more severe than any prior. The exact circumstances and causes remain unknown. The only direct record are Lovecraft's own later correspondence, wherein he described it variously being as a nervous collapse and some sort of breakdown, in one letter blaming it on the stress of high school, despite his enjoying it.
Look, I don't know what happened, but it made him real weird.
Everyone seemed like their life seemed to be broken down into episodes back then. I guess it was like the only way you could deal with the world was having a psychotic break every 2 years. I mean, maybe there's something to it. He got a lot done.
In another letter concerning the events of 1908, he notes, I was and am prey to intense headaches, insomnia, and general nervous weakness, which prevents my continuous application to anything.
He has chronic Lyme.
Oh my God, he was on the pain internet.
Mm-hmm.
An account
He
from
was
high...
a spoonie.
Yes, he was a spoonie. He had no fucking spoons left. An account from high school classmate described Lovecraft as exhibiting, quote, terrible tics, and that at times he'd be sitting in his seat and he'd suddenly up and jump. Think how fucking boring school was back then. You didn't even have a substitute teacher day where they wheeled in a TV and just let you watch a fucking movie.
Yeah, you couldn't play Fortnite. It was awful.
They also didn't know anything. So your classes would be like, all right, so it's like you got the skin, then you got the veins under there. All right, you're a doctor now. Like that's what an insane hierarchy it was.
They had a
No,
whole
but
elaborate organization.
Felix
to
is
break.
exactly right. Lovecraft hated and feared anything and anyone that was not of good old New England stock. And like Felix, too, he also hated everything about New York City.
Look, okay, you know how Hitler invented the Autobahn? Like, okay, sometimes bad people have good ideas.
Will, was that Lovecraft's only wife, or did he remarry?
He never remarried. That was his only wife and relationship.